Hello dear students, today we will discuss very first chapter of evolutionary biology, that is origin of life, in which we are going to discuss various theory of origin of life. Myself Dr. Harkrishan from Government National College Sirsa. First of all, let's have a brief introduction about our universe. As we know, the study of universe is called cosmology. Our universe is made up of millions of galaxies which are moving away from each other. Our galaxy is spiral shaped, made up of approximately 100 billion stars along with the sun, and this galaxy is known as Akash Ganga or Milky Way. Now come to our solar system. Our solar system includes sun, its planet, their satellites. Sun lie in the center of solar system, and 8 planets they are revolving around sun. The smallest and nearest planet to the sun is Mercury, while the farthest is Neptune. Biggest planet is Jupiter. Most of planets have their satellites which are known as moon. For example, one moon for Earth. There are 12 moons for Jupiter. Mercury and Venus have no moons. Now come to the Earth. Our Earth is orange shaped and its pole to pole diameter is 12,640 km. Our Earth complete a rotation around its axis in 24 hours, which is responsible for formation of day and night. Earth revolves around Sun once in 365 days, that is 1 year. The diameter of Earth is about 8,000 miles. Our Earth is surrounded by a gaseous atmosphere which is differentiated into 4 zones, that is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and now come to the origin of universe. As we know, the whole universe is made up of matter and energy. Approximately about 10,000 million years ago, the universe was in the form of red dense hot rotating cloud of cosmic dust which is known as alum. The alum was made up of neutrons, protons, electrons like particle of matter and antiparticle of antimatters. The most accepted hypothesis related to origin of universe is Big Bang hypothesis, according to which due to large scale collision between particle and antiparticles give rise to hydrogen atom. These hydrogen atoms fuse together to form heavier atoms of different elements. This started the process of cosmic evolution. The original gaseous clouds spread out into space and divided into large and smaller masses which form various solar systems. Now come to the origin of solar system. About 10,000 to 20,000 million years ago, there was highly condensed mass of cosmic material. This cosmic material exploded to form numerous pieces of cosmic material which are known as nebulae. One of such nebulae gave rise to our solar system. A nebula was a cold cloudy mass of dust and gases. This cold cloudy mass was concentrated near the center due to condensation and spinning. The primitive sun was developed from the dense center, while the other planets, including Earth, were formed from the cooler and less denser peripheral part. In the sun, various thermonuclear reactions started due to high temperature, so started emitting radiations, energy. As a result, sun became hotter and brighter. The whole solar system was formed at same time, approximately 4,600 million years ago, from a common source. When we talk about origin of Earth, our Earth was originated from cooler and less denser peripheral part of nebula, approximately 4,500 to 5,000 million years ago. In the beginning, Earth was a spinning ball of hot gases and vapors of elements like hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus. Due to gradual cooling, gases condensed into molten core and different elements get stratified according to their density. Now the question is, what was the composition of primitive Earth and various conditions present at that time? Various heavy elements like iron, nickel, etc. they formed the solid core of Earth, while light elements like helium, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen and carbon formed its gaseous atmosphere. Atmospheric nitrogen was in the form of ammonia, while the carbon was present in the form of methane. Surface temperature of Earth at that time was very high, approximately 5000 to 6000 degrees Celsius. There was no free oxygen, that's why atmosphere was non-oxygenic. Atmospheric conditions were supposed to be reducing. No radiation belt was present at that time around Earth, so abundance of short and long wave radiations were present in atmosphere, hence favored the photochemical reactions. Such reducing atmospheric with no free oxygen was called primitive atmosphere. The presence of such reducing conditions on primitive Earth was supported by gases which are released from volcanic eruption. They have no oxygen. Jupiter and some other planets still have reducing atmosphere. The very oldest rocks of the Earth, they contain reducing substances, and first living organism, they were also anaerobic. Now come to the origin of life. Life is the inherent power of an organism to use material and energy of the environment for their metabolism and to reproduce before their death. There are many questions regarding the mystery of origin of life. For example, what was the site of origin of life? What were the conditions on the earth at the time of origin of life? And what was the mechanism involved during origin of life? Various theories has been proposed by different scientists to explain the origin of life. These theories has been divided into two categories. In first category, which is named as mechanistic theories, that suggest the origin of life from inorganic matter, which is regulated by some natural laws. And the second category is materialistic theories, which suggest that primary material for origin of life were organic compound. Out of these two theories, the materialistic theories are more scientific. Now come to very first theory of origin of life, that is theory of special creation. This theory was proposed by Hebrew and strongly supported by Suraj and Milton. This theory was totally religious based theory, and according to this theory, all the living organisms, plants and animals present on earth, they were created by some supernatural power which is known as God. These forms were designed all of a sudden, and nothing was ready made. Their body parts were arranged according to their needs, and these have not undergone any change since their formation. As I already told that this theory is totally religious based. That's why there are a little bit variation according to different religions. For example, according to Christianity, God created the living organism within 6 natural days. He created earth and heaven on first day, sky on second day, dry land and plants on third day, sun, moon and stars on fourth day, fish and fowls on fifth day, animals including humans on sixth day. According to Bible, Adam was the first man and Eve was the first woman. However, according to Hindu mythology, Brahma was the god of creation and created all the living forms in one stroke from his various body parts. Manu and Sharda were first man and woman on earth. This theory was religious based, and there was no scientific support, no scientific evidence behind this theory. That's why this theory is totally refused by various workers. Now come to the second theory of origin of life, that is theory of abiogenesis or spontaneous creation or autogenesis. This theory was proposed by Helmont and stated that life originated abiogenetically from non-living material by some spontaneous generation. In the same direction, Anaximenes proposed that air as a sole cause of life. According to Aristotle, all the living creatures like worm, bee larvae, wasp, ticks, glowworms, they were developed from the soil and fields. Tapeworm, they were developed from the excreta of animals. Hair of white horse, they give rise to horse. Hairworm, the mud of Nile give rise to living organism when warmed in the sun. Similarly, Van Helmont also described that mice arise from wheat barn and sweaty shirt when kept in a pot for 21 days in dark. Conditions present during the origin of life, what was the site of origin of life, and what was the mechanism of origin of life. Now come to the theory of biogenesis. According to this theory, omne vivum ex vivo, which means that the life arises from pre-existing life. It has been scientifically proved that all the living organisms, even microbes, they develop from pre-existing life. This theory was supported by Francisco Redi, Spallanzani, Louis Pasteur, and various other scientists. In this direction, the very first experiment was performed by Redi. He was an Italian physician. He cooked few pieces of meat and placed them in 3 different jars. In the first jar, it was covered by fine muslin cloth. The second jar was also covered with parchment paper, and the third jar, it was left uncovered. After a few days, some larvae, they appeared only in uncovered jar, but no larvae, they developed in covered jar. The Redi observed that some flies, they entered only in open jar, that is uncovered jar. They laid their egg on some cooked pieces of meat, and the egg, they later on developed into larvae. From this observation, Redi concluded that the life arises from pre-existing life. It never develops spontaneously. The photograph again showing the experiment performed by Redi. As I earlier explained, he covered the 2 jars having some cooked pieces of meat, and the third jar, it was kept uncovered. As the diagram is showing that some flies, they are entering into open jar, they are laying their egg, and these egg later on developed into larvae, and proving that life arises only from pre-existing life. But still the question is again same, that what is the mechanism of origin of life, what was the first site of origin of life, and what were the conditions on earth during the origin of life. In the same direction, Spallanzani also performed experiment to prove that life arises from pre-existing life. He poured some nutritive material known as infusion in 8 bottles and boiled all of the bottles to kill the microbes present in them. Then he sealed the neck of 4 bottles airtightly, so that even air could not enter into these bottles, and 4 of the bottles, they were kept loosely arranged. He left the bottle for some days and noticed that the microbes, they developed only in the bottles having loosely arranged, loosely cooked bottles. No living organism were appeared in airtight bottles even after long times. He concluded that the air must contain some microbes. When the air entered into loosely cooked bottles, the microbes, they germinate due to moisture and food present within bottles. The figure also showing the experiment performed by Spallanzani, that he poured some nutritive material in bottles, then boiled the bottles to kill the microbes, and put the bottles for some days half of the bottles they were air tightly packed and half of the bottles they were loosely corked. The microbes they only developed in loosely corked bottles and not developed in air tightly packed bottles. Similarly, Louis Pasteur also performed an experiment to prove that life arises from pre-existing life. He showed that even microbes like protists and bacteria they also arise from pre-existing microbes. To prove this, he took a flask almost half filled with sugar solution and yeast. By heating, he gave S-shaped structure to the neck of flask. The content of glass was boiled for several hours to kill all the yeast or microbes present within. No life appeared in the flask, but when he broken the neck of flasks, some microbes appear in the bottles. This proved that after neck breakage, some air enter into bottle carrying the microbes, which get germinated when they found a proper condition like food and moisture. This experiment is also known as Pasteur principle of sterilization, which is widely used to destroy the microbes by heat or chemicals, which is used in modern medicine, surgery and preservation of food. The photograph again showing the experiment performed by Pasteur, in which he boiled the content in a bottle and the shape of bottle was arranged in S shape. After breakage of neck of bottle, some air entered into bottle and resulted in development of some microbes. But the question was still same, that what was the mechanism of origin of life, what was the site of origin of life, what were the conditions on earth during the origin of life, which they were not able to explain, which is the main cause of failure of their hypothesis. Now the next theory of origin of life is cosmozoic or interplanetary or panspermietic theory, which was proposed by Richter and strongly supported by Preyer. According to this theory, life comes on Earth from some other planet in the form of seed or spores called cosmozoa or panspermia. But the theory was again rejected because of they were not able to explain the mechanism by which the panspermia they survived in the adverse conditions of interplanetary distance during their long journey from one planet to another planet. They also did not explain the mode of origin of life, source of panspermia, and mode of arrival of the panspermia on Earth from some other planet. Now the next theory is catatropic theory, which was proposed by Cuvier and Orbigny. According to this theory, life has been created several times on this earth, and each time it is preceded by a catastrophe or some natural calamities due to some major geological changes. Each catastrophe destroyed the previous life completely and was followed by more advanced creations. According to Orbigny, catastrophes has occurred 27 times on this earth. Each catastrophe destroyed the previous population as a whole, and new life is created after each catastrophe. But the main failure is that they were not able to explain the mechanism of origin of life, the site of origin of life, and the conditions on the earth during the origin of life. Similarly, there are many other theories related to origin of life, but they were failed to explain the exact mechanism of origin of life. But the main theory that was accepted by most of scientists or workers was the modern or chemosynthetic theory of origin of life. This theory of origin of life, that is modern or chemosynthetic theory, we will discuss in our next lecture. Till you have to learn the content which was explained in this lecture, and also you have to prepare some basic questions given at the end of your book. Till then, stay at home, work hard, and good luck. Thank you.